A lot to unpack here. Sami Zayn unfortunately did not get his storybook ending this past Saturday night at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view when he once again was defeated by Roman Reigns, this time in front of his home city crowd of Montreal, Canada. But overall, gotta say the match played out quite similar and quite different in some ways and in some other ways as to the way I thought it would play out. Because initially, the entire crowd just out there chanting F you Roman for the first 2, 3, 4 minutes possibly. I don't know how long it was that they chanted that for the initial minutes of the match. That was awesome. They didn't even lock up. They weren't doing anything. They were just, Sami Zayn was just letting his crowd, his city, speak for him towards Roman Reigns. And Roman Reigns is usually used to people acknowledging him, and they were acknowledging him in a very, very coarse way. And that's something that carried through the entire match. And speaking about the match, I think that it was booked pretty well, other than the ref bumps. The ref bumps was a little bit much. Never a fan of that, especially not 2 in one match. But overall, Roman Reigns was in control for most of the match, and whenever he lost control, it was because he was more focused on the crowd, and that's when Sami Zayn was able to get some offense in the match. Not to say that they didn't paint Sami Zayn as an equal, it's just that Roman Reigns operates on a different level. Sami Zayn said it himself. And there were a bunch of near falls that made a lot of us think that maybe they might change the titles. Maybe they might give Sami Zayn his run. And that just didn't happen. The best part about the Roman Reigns character in this match was no doubt his interaction with Sami Zayn's family. Pretty much apologizing to Sami's wife and the rest of his family. I'm not sure if those were his kids or nieces and nephews. I'm not sure. But Roman Reigns was basically telling them that he wanted them to be family. He wanted them to be close. He wanted them to come together as a family. Back at the Rumble, and Sami Zayn did this to himself. He caused this. So that was a very, very big villainy move from Roman Reigns, who at this point, it's not just about the way he wrestles, it's the way he portrays himself. Now, as far as the end result goes, like I said, I've been saying this for the past few weeks. I'm going to keep saying this. Roman Reigns retaining the championships at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view was the right way to go, the right move to pull. Simply because we're too damn close to WrestleMania for him to have a loss of this nature, of this caliber, for the championships on the road to the grandest stage of them all. And I see a lot of fans comparing this Sami Zayn crowd and Sami Zayn moment to RVD's crowd in 2006 when he won the WWE Championship. Or even CM Punk's crowd in Chicago in 2011 when he beat John Cena and won the WWE Championship. The big difference there is that was in the middle of summer. That was June or July of each year. WrestleMania had already passed. We were months and months away from WrestleMania. And usually during the summer is when WWE likes to take chances when it comes to elevating newer stars or going with these angles that are hot. And I have no doubt in my mind that if this had taken place in May or in June or in July of this year or last year, if Sami Zayn if the storyline had gotten to a boiling point until then, Sami Zayn would have and should have taken the win. He should have taken the titles. The crowd was there. The moment was there for Sami Zayn to take it. It's just that WrestleMania is the bigger picture and WWE has had plans in place for both Reigns and Sami Zayn at the Showcase of the Immortals, and they do not involve each other. I said it here before. Roman Reigns will defend the titles against Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. And Sami Zayn will tag with Kevin Owens against the Usos for the Tag Team Championships. Those are the plans that have been set in place, and those are the plans that they're going to go through with at WrestleMania. It's as simple as that. And WWE already pulled this last year when we had, it wasn't a hometown crowd, but it was a pretty hostile crowd towards Roman Reigns at Clash at the Castle when Drew McIntyre challenged. And guess what? Roman Reigns went over back then there too. When that was a pretty good moment to take the titles off of Roman Reigns if they wanted to rebuild their programs heading into WrestleMania. It was September of last year. They still had 6-7 months before WrestleMania. Now it's a month and a half before WrestleMania, and you're going to have the biggest boss, the biggest final villain in history, in the recent history of WWE, lose just 6 weeks away from WrestleMania, lose his championships, lose his aura. Where does Roman Reigns go after a loss to Sami Zayn at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view? The triple threat match at WrestleMania loses all value. It's not interesting if Roman Reigns is not the champion heading into WrestleMania. How the story played out. Jimmy Uso comes out, takes out Sami Zayn, puts Roman Reigns in a prime position to take him out, get the win, and get out of there. And then what happens? Jey Uso. Sami Zayn takes care of Jimmy Uso. Jey Uso's out here. And Jey Uso is still going back and forth whether to help his former his former friend and Sami Zayn, or to respond to Roman Reigns' loyalty. So he's still going back and forth. And there's a very big reason as to why we haven't seen Kevin Owens or Jey Uso, much of them, on WWE TV ever since the Royal Rumble pay-per-view, ever since the events of that night happened. And the main reason is because the tag team match for the tag titles at WrestleMania has been set in stone. And WWE did their job perfectly last Saturday night. They played with our heartstrings. They gave us those emotions. They made us believe that Sami Zayn could beat Roman Reigns for the world title. I believed that during the match. But I also believe that would have been the wrong way to go. And we still got a lot of Raw and a lot of SmackDown to build up to the Usos versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Hell, Zayn and Owens haven't even reunited. I predicted they would reunite at Montreal at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. That didn't happen. That's going to play out over the next several weeks. They're going to have to make peace with each other. That's going to be great TV. Jey Uso, I believe he's going to have to fight himself over joining back with the Bloodline, simply because he is still the tag champs. Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso are his brothers. Roman Reigns is his cousin. As much as he has hated the abuse, the mentally and physical abuse that Roman Reigns has caused him over the past 2.5 years, even when Jey Uso was a part of the Bloodline, that continues into WrestleMania because they have to honor their bloodline. They have to honor their name and their family heading into WrestleMania. But make no mistake about it, after WrestleMania, the story of the bloodline imploding on itself ends with Jey Uso versus Roman Reigns. It started with Jey Uso versus Roman Reigns. It's only natural that it ends with Jey Uso versus Roman Reigns. This is a mafia story. This is a mob story. The mobs implode on themselves. They turn on each other, not by an outsider like Sami Zayn, who, by the way, even though he turned on Roman Reigns and the crowd is cheering him as a babyface, Sami Zayn he still has heel tendencies in the way he acts, in the way he speaks, in the mannerisms he portrays. He's a babyface to the crowd, but he still has to get back to being a full-blown hero. We still see him as that slimy, conniving guy who got himself into the bloodline through questionable means, but now he's out. He got kicked out by the bloodline because they wouldn't accept any of his input, because the only input the bloodline accepts is that of the tribal chief in Roman Reigns. And down the line, like I said, Jey Uso will be the one to end the bloodline. It has to be him. It's the only way to end this storyline of the bloodline. It's not Sami Zayn, it wasn't Drew McIntyre, and it's not going to be Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. Ending the bloodline is not a matter of having the world championships. It's a matter of Roman Reigns being on top. It's a matter of Roman Reigns manipulating and causing abuse to his family members in the name of his family's legacy. That is the bloodline storyline. And the only way Roman Reigns gets what's coming to him is by his very own family turning on him. His blood turning on him. Rejecting him. That's the only way, at least, again, my opinion, that's the only way you end the bloodline storyline. This isn't like the comic book movies where you got this group of people where you got Thanos and the Dark Order. I think that was the name of his henchmen, and you have Maul beat Thanos. No, that's a superhero movie. They book Tony Stark to end that. To me, it has to collapse on itself, and the only way to do that is by having your own blood turn on Roman Reigns. And again, social media. We've seen a lot of wrestling fans going out there, a lot of wrestling journalists and analysts as well, going out there saying that WWE made the wrong call. And that's all subjective. That's all their opinion. It's respectable. Again, I have a different opinion. I think it was the right call. They both matter. They're both good opinions. What I don't understand, what I don't get, what I can't process is fans going on social media and just complaining and bitching and moaning about the result. And the reason they go on social media and they complain and they try to rally people against WWE is because they know pro wrestling is predetermined. So they can't take the loss because they know that WWE just did not want to give them the win, the result that they wanted. Whereas in non-predetermined sports, teams lose and fans just have to deal with it. That's what happens. As simple as that. You lose, you regroup, you get ready for the next season. Wrestling fans, they're a different breed. They don't do that. They just go on social media, they bitch, they moan, they complain about a result that's not in their control when we're talking about entertainment. And if Sami Zayn would have won the titles last Saturday night at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, I would not have agreed with it. But I'd be able to tune into Raw and tune into SmackDown and still be able to enjoy the product, with whatever result they give me, because I'm a fan of WWE first and foremost, rather than of any superstar. I'm a fan of watching that show, of watching that product. I've been a fan for almost 20 years at this point. It's that damn simple. So overall, this Monday night on Raw and Friday night on SmackDown, we're going to get ready. We're going to get the stories ready heading into WrestleMania. And we're going to see a lot more of Roman Reigns on Monday Night Raw. And I cannot wait for the interactions between Reigns and Cody Rhodes leading up to the event. So with that said, what do you think about what transpired in the main event of the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view? Do you agree with WWE's way of booking these things? Do you agree with the way the match played out? Do you agree with the results? If you do, most likely you don't. I know a lot of you fans wanted Sami Zayn to win. And like I said, if it was after WrestleMania season, I would have given him the win too. It was just that big of a moment that he had right there, but we're too damn close to WrestleMania. So if you did or if you didn't, leave it in the comments section below. Now, as far as the other results at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, the Women's Elimination Chamber match, Asuka came out with the win. I like the fact how Liv Morgan was eliminated by passing out from 2 submissions. Like, they made a point. They made a point of having her not tap out, of having her not give up. She's been saying it for weeks on SmackDown. She likes pain. She wants to go bell to bell. And she did. She started at number 1. When she came out at very last, when she was going to start the match at the Chamber, I thought that she was going to go all the way, just like in the Rumble, all the way to the end and be eliminated by Asuka one-on-one. She would be the last one eliminated once again. And it wasn't. It wasn't. But Asuka winning was the best move possible because Bianca Belair needs a legitimate challenger for WrestleMania. Someone who can actually take the championship off of her. And someone who I believe will actually take the title off of her in Asuka. And everyone knows she's a badass. Then we had the big scuffle between Lashley and Lesnar. A pretty quick match, mostly about big moves, big moments. A lot of people don't seem to like the finish. I kind of do. I kind of do. Because it proves a point and makes a point that every time Lesnar gets in the ring with Bobby Lashley, he has to pull out all the stops or do something to get away from the Almighty. And to me, that this whole rivalry, this whole feud is about putting Bobby Lashley over as this beast of a performer. And Lesnar being locked in the Hurt Lock, we all knew he wasn't going to tap out. We all saw him struggle. He was trying to get out of it. He couldn't. And he was about to pass out. And then he goes to his last resort, his trump card, and he goes low on Bobby Lashley. And that was it. Not the best result. Not a best result for a DQ. Nobody likes a DQ. But again, I think this puts Lashley over. Lesnar then causes mayhem around the ring. He attacks an official. He keeps attacking Lashley after the match. I think this feud, this rivalry is far from over. So, yeah. Yeah, I think it was the best move possible. So, we'll just see how this plays out. So the mixed tag team match, I wasn't expecting Edge and Beth Phoenix to win. They did. Obviously, Rhea Ripley was not going to take the pinfall. She needs to keep looking strong heading into WrestleMania. And I think her scuffle, her back and forth with Beth Phoenix during the match made that possible. The crowd again with FU Dominic chants. Awesome, just awesome. The Elimination Chamber match for the U.S. title. Again, played out pretty damn well with Austin Theory winning or actually retaining the title at this point. Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul, pretty much set in stone, 100% towards WrestleMania. A lot of fans are not happy with that. There are a lot of fans saying that, like Seth Rollins saying that Logan Paul just wants to be here for the fame, doesn't really love wrestling, and that's why he hates him. A lot of fans are saying that's not enough of a motive to hate somebody. Well, here's the thing, wrestling fans, you hated Logan Paul. A lot of non-wrestling fans as well have hated Logan Paul for the fact of just him being famous on YouTube. That's it. And it's not enough for Rollins to do that. Come on. Johnny Gargano had a fantastic match. Damian Priest had a fantastic match. Bronson Reed had a great showing in the Chamber. It took 3 men to just eliminate him, even though every time he comes out, he's not really over with the crowd. They don't really know who he is. This might change that, hopefully, in the future. And then just Montez Ford with that Spider-Man drop off the top of the Chamber. Just fantastic. Montez Ford, everybody's at this point getting tired of hearing this because he is a future star, future main event star. He was about to pay homage to Rock with the people's elbow. I'm kind of sorry that got cut off. But again, Montez Ford, again, he's going to be one of the top next stars for WWE in the very near future. And again, pretty good show all around. It was pretty short, 3 hours, a little bit over 3 hours. So WWE keeping it tight right there. Had a good rhythm to it. The crowd was into it no matter what, into the entire show. So gotta applaud that. So with that said, what do you think about what happened at the Chamber pay-per-view in Montreal, Quebec, Canada? What do you think is going to happen this Monday night on Raw tonight from Ottawa in Canada? So with that said, I'm Alexis Carrillo. This has been Wrestling Talk, and see you next time.